Hey y'all, I'm JamesWright and welcome back to Wizards News. Today I want to talk about grinding. How do you level up quickly? How do you gain a lot of XP in a short amount of time? So you don't have much time in the field, let's go out and take a look at how do you maximize your time to get the most XP. Now today is going to be a bit of an experiment, and I want to actually test a couple different ways. We've seen some math coming out and saying that the best way to level up technically should be to do low-level fortress raids. But I'm actually going to play with a couple different things. So I'm going to do an hour of low-level fortress raids. I'm going to do an hour of higher-level fortress raids, basically as high as I can get and pretty much guarantee that I can complete it every time. And then I'm also going to do an hour of just going after foundables and really focusing on those. So I'm going to set up by an inn, put up dark detectors, and get as many foundables as I possibly can throughout the time. And so I'm going to do that for an hour and see which one generates the most XP over total. So here you can see I'm in a spot where I have 3 inns that I can base off of, and I can put on all 3 of those, I can put a dark detector, and I can hit as many of the traces that pop up here as well as what brings up in the dark detector. And then if I run out of traces here, I can move down the road a little ways. There's another spot where I can sit on 3 of them and load those ones up. So we're just going to be trying to stay with as many traces, and if I run out here, I can go down the road to another spot where there's a couple other inns. Now, if you're really looking for traces, one of the best places is to go to parking lots of big stores. You'll see a lot of them there, but there usually aren't a lot of inns, so you can't recharge, you can't use your dark detectors, and so that's why I like to find a place with 2 or 3 inns that I can base off of, and then use those to claim all of the foundables in the area. So here you can see I'm going to start off at level 13 with 385 XP, and then 1 hour from now I'm going to shut that down and see where I'm at exactly. And then at the end of this I'm actually going to graph out everything from the 3 different tests, and I may be doing more tests in the future, but right now this is what we're going to see. What is the best way to level up quickly? So before we begin, we're going to go into the vault. We're going to use the brain elixir, and we're going to be using 2 of these throughout the time. We're going to be using 3 dark detectors on each one because 3 of them increase everything, and that's what we're going to roll. So let's load these all up and then start the hour. So here you can see there are quite a few traces to go through, and we're going to march through these and see how much we can get, and let the hour begin. Okay, there, we just spent an hour doing that and grinding through, and I hit level 14, and so I am now 2,385 into level 14. I'll do the math later on exactly what that is, but now I'm going to set up and start working on the fortresses. So let's dive into that. Now in the fortresses, I'm going to be using level 1 runestones or level 2 low ones, and I'm going to be doing the lowest possible rung in the fortress, and I'm going to do that for an hour and see what the outcome is for that. So right now we are at 5,485 XP, and we're going to see what the next jump is in the next hour. So let's dive into this fortress, but first we need to make sure we turn on our Brewfield's brain elixir and have a little bit of fun here. Now, if I run out of energy, I'm here in a location where I have 3 inns nearby, and I can just immediately go to those and go back in. But if I do run out of energy, I'm going to be buying it just to make sure that I'm getting a really good idea about what the maximum is in an hour in a fortress. So let's dive into this thing. There, just finished doing an entire hour with low-level raids using low-level runestones, so 1, or I used a few number 2s. And we are at 6,935 XP into level 15. So I'll be doing the math on that in a little bit, and we'll be adding those to the list. Okay, now we're going to be doing the fortresses all over again. I'm going to be doing as high a level as I can with as high a runestone as I have in stock. So this should be interesting to compare and see, is there a difference with doing higher level fortresses as opposed to the lower levels that you can just march through. Okay, so here we go. We're going to be doing chamber number 4 with a number 4 runestone. And this should be interesting. So there you go. I've spent about 3.5 hours or so getting this all together and grinding for a little while. Really kind of happy. It's been a lot of fun. You may be wondering why I'm in the van not walking around, and that's because it's raining outside. And normally I just go with an umbrella, but I have my son here with me, and so we're hanging out and having a little bit of fun playing the game. You're all wondering about the numbers. What is the best of these three methods to actually go with? So number one, the high level raids, doing as high a raid as you can possibly complete by yourself. In the 1 hour, I pulled off 9,760 XP. I was expecting to get a little bit more than that. I was expecting somewhere around 11,000, but I was a little bit surprised. High-level raids really don't give you that much because you just can't complete as many as fast. It was taking me 4 to 5 minutes per raid to complete them, and when I really cranked it up and was pushing that boundary, they were taking 6 minutes, the full 6 minutes allotted, and sometimes I wouldn't be able to complete it, and then you wouldn't get the XP from it. So yeah, high-level raids really aren't the best way to grind. So what about low-level raids? In the low-level raids, I got 16,450 XP in the 1 hour. And that was actually pretty good. That was right about what I was expecting. I'm able to crank those out about every 2 minutes. I can put out a raid. And as I get better, I might be able to do those even faster. So my suggestion is whatever raid you can do and do a 1 or 2 punch knockout on each and every person, that's the raid you want to be doing to get the highest XP the fastest. So what about returning foundables? Now, I didn't expect this to be very high because in Pokemon Go, you don't get a whole lot for catching Pokemon. I mean, you can get a good bit and you can grind that way, but it's not the best way to do it. Whereas in this, the hour that I spent with that, I got 19,000 XP in 1 hour for returning foundables. And for that, I was really surprised. Now, yes, I am still finding a lot of new foundables, things that I haven't found before, and you are getting more XP for those ones. But once you actually take that into account of how many more XP you're getting, I actually ended up getting somewhere around 17,000 XP, which is still more than the low-level raids. Now, with that being said, I'm still finding new foundables out there, so I'm still occasionally running into things that I haven't found before, and you do get more XP from those than you do from regular ones that you see every day. But taking that into account, I'm bringing it down to about 17,000 XP, which puts it right about the same level as low-level fortresses. So if you're out returning foundables, you're probably actually getting fairly close to the same XP as you would if you are low-level raiding. Now, the problem with foundables is you're going to be using a lot of items. You're going to be using a lot of potions to get the hard ones, you're going to be using dark detectors to be drawing them in, and you're going to be using a lot of things to get to them. On low-level fortresses, though, I was using almost nothing. I was basically just using energy. I don't think I used a single healing potion the entire time I was in there. I was just grinding out with the energy I had. And I never had to recharge my energy. I went in there for an entire hour with what I had on hand, which I think was like 140, 170, somewhere in that range. And I didn't even get halfway through the energy I needed in that entire hour. Now, in the high-level raids, I used a ton of equipment. I used potions all the time. I went through probably 40 or 50 healing potions. I had to come out and recharge. I think I recharged with energy 4 or 5 times during that period. So I was using a lot of equipment, I was using a lot of energy, and it was taking more time to do the fortresses because they are that higher level. So let's summarize this entire thing. Number one, if you are beginning and you're starting to get out there and you haven't found a lot, spend your time getting foundables. Find the foundables, return them, you'll be getting more XP that way. If you have the ability to use dark detectors, then use dark detectors. They allow you to find more foundables a little bit faster. If you've been playing for a while and you've found most of the foundables, then go to a fortress and sit down and play low-level fortress with runestones. Play the highest level and the highest runestone you can and still be able to get through it with a single knockout or maybe even a 2-punch knockout and get through them quickly. That way you're not using your potions on it, you're not spending extra time in there, you're just going through it and the only thing you're using is your energy. So I hope you like this data. I'm looking forward to actually expanding on this and seeing if there's something else you'd like me to try. Is there anything like, ooh, why you didn't do that? Please let me know about that. Let me know down in the comments below. I'm looking forward to hearing those. So I think that's about it for today. And until next time, have a magical day. Okay, it's that time again. Let's open another chocolate frog and see what we got. Hopefully it's something fun. Haven't gotten a Dumbledore. Oh, another Jaconda Skies. I've got a bunch of her. I have to be giving away a few of these here soon.